and I want to welcome you to another episode of Beyond the Surface Radio. I'm your host, Dr. Wanda J. Evans-Brewer, and this afternoon I'm seated with do you consider yourself an MC, a DJ? What do you consider yourself?
DJ.
She's a DJ. This is Breezy. I wouldn't say in the making from what I heard. Breezy, and I love your slogan. It ain't easy being breezy.
It ain't easy.
It ain't easy?
It ain't easy. I promise you it ain't easy.
Well, okay, she's going to tell us as we talk, but I was actually at a friend's, it was basically a client's appreciation day, and they were having a little dinner, and I showed up and I saw this black woman with, this phenomenal equipment, and, looked pretty decent and polished, so she looked like she was there for business, and I said, wow, you a DJ, and it's been such a long time since I've seen black women have a professional role in that whole arena, because we sort of with the it's almost like whatever happened to the female MC, the female MC started disappearing, and so it was hard to find her, and I felt like I found one. So I wanted to interview Breezy for the show. She said she would graciously do that for us, and so I want to introduce you to. You call yourself MC Breezy or Miss Breezy? DJ Breezy. DJ Breezy. Well, thank you for coming on my show.
I appreciate the invite. I really do.
Okay.
You don't know how much it meant. It really means a lot.
Why? Please tell me.
It's we have some female DJs out there. Sundance. She's Chicago's tightest female DJ. She's been DJing for years. She's one that I actually look up to.
Okay.
And then you also have MC Light, who is, the base and foundation for, us women. And I'm just really getting started at this. So to have someone come to me and say they want to interview me when they hear me play, it really fills my heart, because when I started DJing, it wasn't about the DJing itself, it was a release for me. That's how I actually started DJing.
Wow. And it was released why?
My son was killed.
Okay, and when was your son killed?
August of 2013.
Oh, this is recent.
And yes. So I was really consumed with that. He was my youngest of three.
Okay.
And I just couldn't handle it. I was not doing well with it. So I had a friend that DJ'd, and we hung out a lot. And I've always loved music.
Okay.
So sometimes when I'm going through something, I get my phone or my MP3 player and put music in my head to kind of get myself away from my problems.
Okay.
So that's how I originally started playing music. He was like, well, if you're serious, I'll teach you. Oh. So that's how it came.
So you're a little bit of a Nubian. You're an apprentice as well.
Definitely. That's why I keep saying.
Oh, wow.
People keep thinking I've been doing this for a long time, and I haven't. It's just become something I picked up due to a tragedy in my life.
So this is a journey. So this is a new space for you, but it sounds like you've created a healing space for yourself.
And it's went further than I really imagined it going.
Why?
Because when I originally started doing it, I thought this would just be something I was doing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Not making it a consumer product from me to others.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's really become a lot for me, because I have a lot of private jobs I do. And then I DJ faithfully Monday nights at Brown Sugar on the West Side.
Okay.
So this is not what I thought was going to come. Like I said, this was something that helped me heal from my loss. Mm-hmm. I never knew that it would come this far.
Okay. But it sounds like it's a blessing.
It definitely is
a
blessing.
And it's been some, I don't know, tragedy is complex, because we grieve. I mean, the people try to package grieving, but the truth is we grieve for a lifetime. Like there really is proof that we don't always get over it, but we do learn to channel. Oh, Breezy is filling up. It's okay. But I think it's kind of beautiful that you're still expressing, because one of the things we do know with grief is that if you stuff it, you get sick.
Yeah, you really. I had gotten consumed with it. I couldn't channel, positiveness out of my system. Everything was, when my son got killed, everything was a negative for me.
Okay.
I just started to lack in a lot of space, in my mental space, physical space. I just didn't know how to I just didn't know how to get back to me, and I'm still not back to me. I'm working my way back to me.
Okay, do you think you'll ever be back to you, or do you think you'll sort of evolve into a new you?
I don't think I'll ever go back to the same person.
Okay, and have you made peace with that, or are you frustrated, or where you at with that?
I won't go. When I say I won't go back to the same person, I want to not go back to being the same person, but elevate from it. And that's why I started trying to do things positive with the tragedy. Like just last Sunday, I had an event called Giving to the Living.
Mm-hmm.
It was an event in my son's name, the Darius Oliver Fund. I created. And we have a group called Purpose Over Pain. These are all parents that have lost their children to gun violence.
Okay.
So I chose them as an organization to receive a donation from my son's fund. So I did a charitable event, and the proceeds went to them.
That's powerful.
And they are housed out of St. Sabina with Father Flager.
Oh, I love Father Flager. I love Father Flager.
Because
he put his mouth where his money is, and money where his mouth is. He's on those lines, those front lines.
Right. A good friend of mine, Aaron Watts, is part of his organization.
Okay.
So when I sat down, I said, I want to give this, I want to do something big for my son. I don't want my son to be just another man, black man killed on the street, labeled as either gangbang or dope dealer. Right. Because he had not had a record for either one. So unless you can show me proof that that's what was going on, and the day he got shot, he was with me all day. Wow. And I have a stubborn streak. I can be very ornery, old-fashioned, all of that put together, but I was raised by my grandmother, who I just recently lost. So I've had a lot of...
So you're a grandma baby?
I am.
No, that's why.
Grandma is not grandma to me. Grandma was mom to me.
Right.
And not because my mother was in the streets, but because my mother worked all the time and still works 2 jobs. So I was raised by my grandmother. And for that, I'm so grateful because I have her values instead of this new
millennium values. Yeah, they kind of loosey-goosey.
So I just feel that if I can do something every year in his honor, it doesn't matter if the TV know or who does or who, I know.
Well,
my family
you
knows.
knew him.
And he died saving others because it was a drive-by. And they say he was pushing people out the way, telling them to get down. 5 people got shot that day, but he was the only one to die. Wow. And it was in 2013 of August, the Uptown shooting up on Wilson and Sheridan.
That's massive. So that's heavy in you. It seems like it's directing you, evolving you, and guiding you. What have you done with the anger? Because that's the thing; it does pop up. It's not like as if it goes. Have you completely, sort of shape shifted it into something? What do you do?
I'm trying to not feel anger. I actually don't feel a lot of anger. I'm just very hurt.
You hurt, yeah.
I don't have room for anger. My grandmother always told me, you don't hate, you don't carry. Even the young man that I'm going to court for, that they say killed him, I'm just hurt that you took my child from me.
Yeah, he took his own life as well.
You took your own life.
Yeah.
But when I see this young man at this point in my life, I see that he has no respect for human life because the man has a gun tattooed in the middle of his forehead.
Stop.
Yes, he does. And I've been going to court since September of 2013, and they still haven't even went to trial yet.
Well, that's the ugliness of the legal system, that it just keeps it going, and
so that's why this has,
and that makes it even more painful for you. You're not getting anything really completely resolved.
At first, I had a hate for the young man. I did, but I just realized when I looked at him with the gun and the tattoos,
how lost he was.
He's a lost soul. Yeah, and I had even had an occurrence.
How old is he? How's he look? Oh, he's a kid.
My son was 20, and I think he was either 19 or 20 at the same. And it was a lot of stuff for insult to injury with me with the situation. Their birthdays on the same day. His mom can go see him behind bars. I have to go to a cemetery. Right. On January 31st.
How was his family? Has his family responded? You said his mom. Did she seem to be a God-fearing woman? Did she seem to care? Did she...
It was by accident that we actually ended up sitting next to each other at court one day. But I didn't know. See, when I go to 26 in California, my whole demeanor changed because that's what I hate, going to that courthouse every month knowing that I'm going to have to come back next month.
Right.
So when I go in there, I'm just pretty closed off from people around me, my surroundings.
It's almost
and
a job.
This lady was sitting next to me, and she was literally just talking. Oh, my son, I got him a new lawyer, and he shouldn't be in here. They got to let my son out of here. And so, I'm just like never responding to the lady. She's just talking.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they got ready to call the young man's name, she stood up, and I was like, wow. If she only knew. We've had no contact, and I haven't even seen them there. I haven't seen her.
Well, that's the mother that looked at her son with a gun tattooed in the center of his head.
But that's like, it's not like it was new. She knows
that's what I'm saying. Like this,
is.
That's you. Well, you can't miss that one.
Yeah, so
yeah,
it's been a lot to deal with that, and the music has really helped. It doesn't take the place, but being able to go out and DJ and play music and see people laugh and have a good time because of a service I'm providing, it helps me feel better.
It seemed like your spirit lives a little bit in the music. I was looking at you over at the table, take your time and select, and it was certain things that you played that the women responded to, and they really got to kind of grooving, and then it got to a kind of a lull, and then you would spark it back up. So it does seem like, there is this beautiful dance between the DJ and the tracks. It's not as if it's just robotic, that you just pull out whatever.
Yeah, you gotta, for me, I'm a little bit more old school. I like to play a lot of back in the day, Gerald Levert, Luther Vandross, that type of stuff. But a lot of parties I do play, they want to hear ratchet, cursing, F the commas, and I'll play it. Do I prefer to play it? No.
Right.
Like some of the ladies actually want to hear that at the event, and I told them there is a lady sitting back there with her mom. I'm not going to play that. Now, once she leaves, I'll give you what you really want. But with me, it's always going to be respect for the music. And when I go to parties, they have grandmothers and great-grandmothers.
And little ones.
They're not going to hear that.
Yeah, and little ones. Because I told you when my husband was trying to DJ, that was one of my things with him. I said, honestly, because I've been a long-time teacher. And whatever is the culture and climate of a home comes right to that classroom. I don't care if it's preschool, kindergarten, it don't matter. That's what they sing, that's what they want. And I said, Chubb Rock had it right. All of that don't need to be on lyrics.
And that's what, I'm also part of Chicago public school system, and I see this every day. Kids can't focus because they're too busy singing baking soda, but you ask them to log onto your computer. I can't remember my password.
Yeah, that's scary.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
everything
terrifying.
is I keep, like I said again, I'm old school. My mother and grandmother didn't allow me to come home and turn on TV and get on the computer for foolishness.
You had to get that homework done.
You had to come home, take your school clothes off, eat your supper, and then do your homework. And then if you was graced with a few hours to sit and watch TV, you want to watch all kind of foolishness. This is such a different day and time. That
we're paying for it, though.
Yeah.
Would you say that to a certain degree that we're paying?
Especially when you work around children and you see their parents, that some of their parents are not even on the right level.
Yeah.
The younger generation, because they have them so young, and then they have them together, and then they not completing their education. How can you be a role model to your child if you don't have an education?
Or even, because there was a tons of shared, most of us have migrated from the South, our family did, and if you're not directly a sharecropper's kid, you're somewhere in the line of that. And those weren't necessarily educated people, but they were wise people. They were God-fearing people. Yeah, they had morals. And so, I guess, because, we're from the same generation, I guess my biggest angst with all of that is that overexposure. You know that this is too much. You know that, like that separation of saying we're not equals. And the separation is there for loving reasons. That there's some stuff we just don't process on the same level. Some stuff I can't even explain this to you. Even if I explained it to you, it would be too much.
That's why it changes this day and time, because a lot of parents are cool with trying to be their kids' friends. Instead of being a parent, I said, don't do this, that's it.
Right.
Not, I'm going to bribe you, I'm going to take your iPad or your phone for a couple of days until you got to stick to what you say.
Yeah, standard.
You got to set a tone
Boundaries.
And keep the tone going. You may not agree with what I say and how I say, but at the end of the day, I mean what I say, and I'm telling you for your own good, because we as parents have been through struggles of our own. And most parents don't want to see their children go through the same struggle.
Even ratchet parents.
Yeah,
they
they
still
don't want to see their kids go through what they go through. But like more so with ratchet parents, it's hard for them to get away from it if you're still being ratchet.
Right.
And the kids
they don't want to sacrifice.
They don't want to stop what they're used
doing.
To.
Right.
They can't get out of their norm to step into this I'm your mother mode. You're not gonna see me drinking, smoking, hanging out, kicking it like that.
Mm-hmm.
They just can't get away from that, and that's why me as a parent, it hurts with my son because he was not living with me and he had his own lifestyle, but he wasn't out there robbing and stealing and killing.
Mm-hmm. You saying in general he was a good guy, but he was finding his way in life, and they do fall away. They do test. I mean, that's what we do. We test the world, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes we survive it, and sometimes we don't. So I understand what you're saying with that.
And I have just to lose him and to have my 2 other children here it's just a part of me left with him.
Yeah.
And I feel some days that I've let them down because when a part of me left with him, it kind of took away from them a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Well,
I don't know if it shouldn't. It was inevitable because that's what mourning does. It takes you in yourself.
And I just try to. My kids will tell you, she fuss all the time. I don't like the way she say stuff. It ain't what you say, it's how you say.
She's snappy.
You don't get it when I try to. I can't baby you. Mm-hmm. I tell them I cannot pacify you. The world is not going to pacify you.
Your grandmama fussed, didn't she?
My grandmother fussed, but at the end of the day, she took care of me.
Well, I guess the reason I made that connection is that we reject it so much when we're living through it because it's a lot of correction, a lot of discipline. But then you get out here and you have to manage the world, and it's far more brutal than any of those hard talks. You go, oh my God, I'm so great, that I'm just gracious. I even had any kind, because we always 2 seconds from an episode of Snapped or from catching a real case, because it's that painful, it's that stressful out there. And it comes from all angles: the system, people, relationships. So, you have to ask them to love you through a lot of it.
And you have to. With me, I am who I am.
Yeah,
I'm not going to change.
Well, you are changing.
As far as when I'm trying to get you to see.
Oh, you saying your standard, your boundaries? Yeah, that's.
But
that's
I want to elevate as a person.
Mm-hmm.
But my standards are just that.
Well, they know you love them, though. Do they know that you love them?
I think they do.
Yeah.
They just can't take it when I'm not.
No, you're irritating. You're a mom. I mean, I haven't met a mother that's not irritating. I'm a mother, and I'm pretty. Depending on the week, the holiday. Yeah, I'm irritating. There's no manual for it. We do the best we can. We're dealing with our own insecurities and shortcomings, and still trying to, be right and righteous. So, but you're here, so they have to know, on some level. Do you feel like he knew that you loved him?
I do.
You do?
Because we had it is so crazy. We had an episode because that was the first day he and I had talked in months.
Okay.
Because he went out of town to see his other sister and got stranded. So I had to get him back home. But he acted a fool in the course of me getting him back home, so I wouldn't talk to him.
Okay.
I was like, you know what? I'm tired of trying to help. I'm tired of trying to be that parent that you guys don't appreciate. So I was just like, I tell you what, you know everything. You back home. You say, just don't call me. Don't ask me nothing. Don't call me. Lose my number because I was tired.
Right.
And they don't see that parents get tired.
We get drained.
They only see that I'm the child. You're supposed to understand everything I do and say. It does not work that way. I am the parent. I have went without to give you things you need. I didn't always give you what you wanted, but I have definitely given you what you needed.
Right.
So he was calling and texting, I'm sorry, and I wouldn't take calls. I wouldn't answer calls.
You said you could be stubborn and honored.
I did. So one day I woke up one morning, I was just like, you gotta knock it off. And I told her to call him. And he was standing at my job in the parking lot when I got there. And he worked with me all day at the school. I had put him on the train, gave him some money, put him on the train, said, I'll see you tomorrow. He said, I'll be here. I never saw him speakable from him speaking again. When I saw him that Monday, that was the last time I saw him until that Wednesday. And I got a call from the hospital saying he had been hurt, that he was sick. So I went to the hospital, and by the time I got to the hospital, it wasn't he was sick. He had been shot 6 times in a drive-by in front of a church.
So he lived some days.
Some days until they found me.
Wow.
And I talked to the nurse, and I asked her, what happened. She said it was a drive-by, and he was one of the victims, and he was the victim most,
that took the most damage. Mm-hmm.
And I asked, was it, his wounds, was he going to make it? And she was like, well, it's the one to the head that's not going, he's not, it's not going to be, it's not looking good. So I actually prayed on it. And she said, we are keeping him alive basically from the ventilator. So at that point I prayed on him, decided if I want to keep him on the ventilator or if I would need to let him go. And after a while, I knew the next day I had to let him go because he was only suffering. Mm-hmm. There was nothing they could do operation-wise to turn the situation around for the better. Yeah. So family, friends, I made my decision. I decided to donate his organs so people could still live. Mm-hmm. Because that's the kind of
you've made some incredible decisions in this that are hard felt decisions, but also just beautiful decisions.
3 people lived from his death.
Do you know them? Have you had contact with them?
Written correspondence.
That's nice.
And it was 2 ladies and a man. The kidneys and his liver is what I
donated.
Mm-hmm. And they, to my knowledge, all fine.
Doing fine. Mm-hmm.
So it's just that I felt I have to do something to keep him going, to keep him living.
Did you do it?
Like I said, every year it's going to be something from the Darius Island Fund to help somebody else. How
do people contribute? People listening to the show that says, look, I want to contribute. I hadn't heard of it. Or, they run, back when I was younger and drive-bys first started sort of in the Midwest, because it used to just kind of be a California thing. It used to be just shocking, and we all stopped, and now it's just people treat it almost like an expectation, commonplace. So for people who may not have heard of the case or heard of it and didn't, how do they get involved? Because you collect the money if you got a fund. How do they contribute?
I just literally named it the Darius Island Fund. I had an event.
Okay.
So what I did was I have such a huge support because of just friends, DJing, people that I deal with on a daily basis. I also bartend at a bar out south called the Odyssey.
Okay.
So I had a big party there and set up a donation box. I had the people that I was donating to also come out. I exploded it, Facebook, Instagram. I had posters made, banners made. My friends shared it. I have friends that have different events. Like I have a group of friends. They have a group called Sinful Sundays out of Reds on 69th and Stony. Then I have another friend. He has a cigar line called Stogie Life. And they all came in with me support-wise, and we put it out there. And the people showed up and showed out.
Okay.
And I have people that still want to donate. So what I've been telling them, they can either, if they give it to me, or they can go to the ARC and ask for Pam Bosley or Ned Ho. They are people who head up Purpose Over Pain.
Okay.
And they can make donations to them.
Okay.
Until as long as they want. I'm going to also probably go ahead and get involved with them as one of the parents.
You like it? You feel
because they're doing good things.
Yeah.
Because I had a parent after the fact that I first met them lost her son get killed. So they provided casket spray for them. They do stuff like that. If your child's been killed as a Chicago public school student, they can help the parent get funds because some parents don't have insurance on their kids.
What I'm learning, I actually did a show about it maybe like 9 months ago about the value of life insurance, because when I was coming up, that's one thing black folks did do was, I don't care how poor they was, they buried their own.
Had some insurance.
Yeah, they had something, and now this new breed, they got Kush, they got Remy, but they don't have a policy. Mm-hmm. And so it's to get back to that tradition, because the state doesn't bury you anymore.
Right,
and
that
it's
was
expensive.
One of the things they couldn't help as much as they want to help because of little stipulations, but they are able to do some things for parents who lose their kids to gun violence. And the same parent that just lost her son a month ago lost her other son last night.
Last night.
Last night, I just got off the phone.
September 1st.
That's why I was in the car.
The same kind of scenario.
Pretty much.
What is happening?
You know, it's I shoot you, you shoot me. We're gonna get revenge, and I gotta get him before he gets me. It's sad.
It's not ending. And
it's not only that it's not ending. You don't end up getting that person, but you shooting innocent people that have nothing to do with the situation.
Mm-hmm.
That's the major bad part. You shooting innocent people other little kids, siblings, and other adults that have nothing to do with your gripe with the person that you really after. And it hurts to see that our youth, and they mostly young. It ain't old cats killing each other.
No, it ain't old timers.
It's these young men, I want to say, with their pants down that they think is so swag. It's that. You don't want to label anybody by, okay, they pants down, they got dreads. They shouldn't have to be labeled like that.
Yeah, but you also can't deny what you see, the behavior that you often see comes from it. And I absolutely agree with you. Like, as much as it's style and it's a trend, it's the trend that keeps on trending, though. It's been around now almost 15 years. That's one that can die. If the bell bottom went away in the jumpsuit, you know what I'm saying? Can this please go? Yeah.
So purpose over pain, like I said, anybody wants to continue to donate to them, they do need the funds. Mm-hmm. They're at St. Sabina with Father Flager, and they organization is out of the entity called the ARC.
Okay.
You have Tom Bosley, Pam Bosley, and Annette Hope.
Okay.
Beautiful people. I've met them. We've broken bread. So that's one organization they can start with right there that I would say they could start with. As far as my thing, the Darius Oliver Fund, I'm going to kind of make it a traveling fund.
Okay.
Which means every year around the anniversary of his death, somebody different. I'm not going to keep donating to the same person. Mm-hmm. I'm going to keep... it's more than one entity that needs help. Right. Because the way the budget and the government is going, soon a lot of these places that get the help from the government,
they're not going to get it.
They're not going to receive the funds.
They're not going to get it. Yeah.
They're not going to receive the funds. And if I can do a little something, might not be anything major to be like, oh, she contributed $1 million, but a lot. But if I can do something to help somebody else's child stay alive, or if I can feel like my son's memory is helping somebody else's child stay alive, that's what I want to do.
Yeah. And it's important that you do that.
So
because you love him and you miss him, and it didn't have to play out this way. That's probably one of the hardest things that parents and family associated with victims say, you know, this was the type of person that didn't even have to get to this level. It didn't have to happen that way. This is not what we wish for their life journey. So that's powerful.
Yeah, he was changing a lot. You know, he was going to cooking school, Cordon Bleu. He had started that, and the guy actually sent me a letter from the school after he passed and said that they would have cooking class, and so they always have leftover food. Mm-hmm. And I guess they probably usually throw the food away, but he was asking for the food. So they thought the food was for him to take.
What was he doing with it?
One night it was raining. He asked for a ride, and he had the guy take him to a viaduct. People sleep on the viaduct. I don't know. They never. Right. He didn't exclaim in the letter which one, but he said he had him take him to a viaduct, and it was just people out there sleeping He was giving them the food.
That's pretty beautiful.
And you just never know. That's why I feel that, I know he know that I loved him when he left here, because things that I would want to see them do, my children do, he was doing, and I didn't even know it. Everything came to me after the fact.
Well, you sound like you've been a decent mom. And I do believe what Scripture says, that if what we deposit, even when they stray away, that it's there, that they come back to it, because it's always in them. And it sounded like you watered it enough that at different points it was blossoming, and that has to be hard too. Knowing that he was evolving and growing and getting into another space, and that got cut short, but it looks like it's also alive through Mom. Like, you are once again flowering it. So I have to take my hat off for you for that. That's to me, that's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Now, we started this conversation about you being a 40-something,
that's
DJ.
The root of where it comes from.
Well, and that's what makes it powerful, and that's that explains why. Because again, like I told you, the female MC has long been replaced. She's been replaced by the video vixen and the sort of like the porn chick. She's always prone. She's always displaying her body. She's always thirsty for somebody to give her some money, some time. And so I miss the female MC. I miss the Queen Latifahs and the Moni Loves, and I miss that. So when I saw you, I said, oh my goodness. And here it is, something far more deeper was in that divine connection. So I'm really, really excited that what was going to start off as just, okay, if you're interested in knowing about this DJ and kind of walking through the history of music and seeing what's going on with that, has turned into something even richer. And that's the power of this platform. That's why I said it's intelligent radio. It seeks to impart wisdom, but then also keep a pulse on what's happening in the streets, because you're not going to end up, as beautiful as this story is, Oprah's not looking for you. Yeah, and this is what those you deserve that level of platform because of the work you're trying to do and are doing. I want to ask you this though. Given the fact we talked about some of the stuff with 26 in California and the circumstances with your son's death, and when you get to that music that you absolutely know is pumping, promoting it, celebrating it, because there's a lot of that Chief Keef and it's a bunch of them that it's almost even painful to listen to it if you have any sort of consciousness. What do you do? Do you have some no-goes? You have some tracks that you just like, you know what? I can't play this and sleep. Or do you separate it?
Everything, because the one thing about the field of DJing, when people want to hear what they want to hear, that's what they want to hear, especially when they're paying.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna lie, some ratchet I listen to, not for what it means, but just it might be a beat.
It's always the beat.
It's a beat.
Let's don't play. The beat always gets you.
That just has my attention and draws me, and I love it. But as far as the negativity of some of the ratchetness, I just separate myself from it.
You separate yourself
because they will come up and literally ask, "Do you have?" And that's what they want to hear. It may not be what I want to play, but I'm getting paid. At the end of the day, I'm still getting paid.
And how do you sleep? Because some of it's evil. It literally talks about.
I don't have a lot of just downright.
So you've been blessed to sort of find DJ gigs that's not so drenched in it.
Right.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to take a party if they want to hear that all night.
Okay. Because you can't even do it.
I will sacrifice the money.
Okay.
I like to play different R&B, hip hop, house.
Do they ask you ahead of time?
I ask them.
I got that. Okay.
I ask them. Saturday I have a party. And she's in our age bracket, but she wants to hear the stuff that I really like to play, the Commodores. She wants to. I say, I always ask, are they going to be elders? Are they going to be children? Because if some music, even the update music, is provocative and it has cursing, but you can try to find clean versions of music that you can. Yeah. But even some of the clean versions aren't that clean.
Mm-hmm. But some of them make you stretch your imagination out.
Right. Yeah. So she was like, she wanted to just have an old school kind of house. She liked house music. I said, no problem.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
you can get lost in house. House is pretty clean.
Right. So
okay. It's a couple of little songs that upset people, but for
in his house, stuff like that.
But
those are old schools that back in the day when somebody said holes in his house, it didn't mean what it means today.
Right. Although I had one. I teach this class on gender studies, and I gave them an assignment to find music that was not I was making a point about misogynistic music, that most of it is anti-woman, that you get when it is like that, it's usually something negative about the woman. I said, I want you to bring me in some stuff where we just meditate on saying something hateful to a man, where he would feel uncomfortable even dancing in the room. And so they went out. They came back with like 1 or 2 songs. One of them was Nicki Minaj's song, Looking At, okay, that one. But the one that they didn't know that was from my generation was The Short Man. Mm-hmm. And so I put it on, Any Bitty Lena. Mm-hmm. What is that? Do you have tweezers? And they was like, the boys in the room was like, hell no.
Right. I'm like, yeah. They saw that as a disassociation to them, but they don't see it when they be talking about women leaving their kids on the couch and, they don't see it then. That's fine.
I heard one song where the man was talking about, I left my kids in your mouth, mm-hmm. and
it's the same song, and then you talking about where he left them on the couch, and
sure, it's what he doing the sex act. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, all right. Well, it's good to know that there is still, even in the music, even in DJing, you have a bit of a standard, a cutoff. You do make sure that you keep your value system in place, and that's got to be a positive, where you still don't lose yourself, because you're not trying to find your new self to lose your everything just because you've come onto a new gig.
And so sometimes what I kind of do is, as once again I say, I'm still learning. Mm-hmm. So I try to implement things myself in my music. Like, say I'm doing at a point where they want to hear ratchet, I take them back and go back to some Lil' Kim, even though she was nasty, but she was old school.
Yeah, but it wasn't nasty like this nasty.
So when they hear some Lil' Kim or some Foxy Brown, mm-hmm. or even some old Jay-Z.
Okay, so you just try to shake it. You give them a little bit of what they like without diving into complete filth.
Because I'll go back to some Ice Cube or some Dr. Dre, Bad Intentions, and they be like, whoa, because it'd be something to take them away from that shooting up or having sex, they go back to some of the old school that had a message in it. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you just gotta mix it up. I just can't completely ratchet. I can't do it. I won't do it.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair. So you're a mom, you're a DJ, you say you work for the public school system, so I'm assuming that you're still doing that. Where does DJ Breezy go from here? What can we expect? You're doing great works in terms of keeping your son's memory alive and keeping it alive in a very honorable way. It sounds like you're living for two, that you're not only living for yourself, but you also, part of your lifeline is keeping his name and his life alive. Where is Breezy going? What's happening with DJ Breezy?
Going to sound crazy. It's not that I don't have an intervention of what I would like to do coming up, but I'm taking it one day at a time.
One day at a time. That's fair. That's all we actually get.
I cannot account for tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. I'm taking it one day at a time.
I appreciate that.
People are saying, well, I want to do this. I have a lot of things that I want to do and put in place. Mm-hmm. But right now, I'm living for an hour from now, or 5 minutes from now, mm-hmm. or tomorrow. I cannot go past that.
You're doing okay then.
Because I have my days.
Well, because I say you're doing okay because you're an awareness about where you're at. You're not lying to yourself. You're not fantasizing about a time and a space. You know for sure that at this moment you're sitting right here with Dr. Wanda and you're having this interview and you're okay with that and you can account for that. That's fair. What would you like, as we're wrapping up, what would you like for the listeners to know, or what is some parting words or wisdom? What was something that you want to share with them?
I don't even want it to be about DJing. I kind of wanted to make, because I'm in a somber place right now because of the student that we just lost.
Okay.
Let's start being more aware of our children on the streets. Mm-hmm. When you see them, don't just think, oh, he just hanging out in the corner. Think about how many times you drive by the corner and you see that same kid, but what about the day you don't see him?
Right, where is he? Yeah, where's he at?
Where is he?
Yeah.
And just realize when you see these young men hanging out in the streets, where are their parents?
Mm-hmm.
What role is it that the parent is trying and just couldn't change the child or couldn't pull a child back into her bosom? Or is it that the parent just doesn't care? Quit looking at them as punk on the street.
Mm-hmm.
Look at them as a lost soul. Mm-hmm. And we need to all start trying to figure out a way to help some of these lost souls.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Okay, well, you've heard that from DJ Breezy. Really, you want us to be a part of healing, protecting, guiding, leading the village. You don't want us to be bystanders. You want us to be right in the midst. I'm one of those people that believe that starts right at your own table. Mm-hmm. That you want to be a role model. You want to raise a good community. Start with the soldiers right there at your table. Your own children that you brought here. So I appreciate that wisdom. I hope you support. Can you tell them the name of the organization again?
Purpose Over Pain.
Purpose Over Pain.
They are at the Ark at St. Sabina.
At the Ark at St. Sabina. I would like for you to keep a pulse out, an ear out for the, say your son's name. Darius Oliver Fund. That is sort of a mobile, because you said you wanted to go to different people at different stages. And then we just want to sort of keep a pulse out for young people in general, particularly black males who tend to be the ones that are gun clapping, and also the victims of it as well as the perpetrators. And then they're filling up our penal systems at just massive amounts. We're losing them, which means that we got some work to do.
A lot of it.
And listen out for DJ Breezy. If you're looking for a good DJ, as you can tell by the interview, she does it all. She whatever you're listening for, she's open to it, and she's new. So the thing about a novice is they're flexible. They're growing. They're excited still about the music. I hope you've gotten a lot out of this interview. I know I have. I feel so blessed and honored that you came. I hope to interview you again maybe in a year. I want to see where we're at in a year, because I definitely want to keep in touch with you. And you've been listening to Beyond the Surface Radio, and I'm your host, Dr. Wanda J. Evans-Brewer. And until we meet again, be safe in God's grace.